वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Satsang ji, apologies for starting a few minutes late. So as you can see by the title screen, today's topic is Punj Chor. Today, Satsang ji, binti to all of you, please try your best to focus a lot today, extra today, because this may be one of the most important vichara that we need to do in our mind for this camp. And Maharaj Kripa Karan, hopefully we can take some tools and some resources that Guru Sahib Ji has given to us and apply them in our life so we can actually be helped from this ongoing battle we have with the Punj Chor. So as per tradition, please give me your C's so everything is said according to Gurmat and not according to my own manmat. Because everyone is Pulanhar and only Guru Maharaj knows the truth. So apna dhyan Satsang ji, Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji de charnan ch dhyan karo, apni sees baksho, fateh ucharan karo. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj says, Khalsa soye jo kare nit jang. Khalsa is that who has a battle, who battles daily. And you all know that battle is not an external battle, but an internal battle that we all have inside. You know this body, Satsang ji, you can't look in this body and do a test, like a blood test. You can't go and determine a scientific thing and identify what is Kam, what is Krodh, what is Lobh, what is Moha, what is Ankar. You can't. You can't get a test and it tells you this is how much Kam you have and Krodh you have. Actually, before I go into that lady, I'm going to just, for those of you that may not be fully aware, the next slide shows the Punj Chor, what they are. The first one, as we've all heard before, is Kam, lust, sexual desire, and you just sometimes even desire towards Maya. Second is Krodh, anger. Third is Lobh, greed. Fourth is Moh, worldly attachment, things that take you away from Guru Sahib Ji towards Maya and attaching you to the world and detaching you from Guruji. And the fifth is Ahankar, which is ego. So Satsang Ji, like I was saying, you can't go and do a test and say, oh, this is how much Krodh you have, this is how much anger you have, this is how much lust you have and greed. But guess what? When someone is experiencing, let's say, anger, you know you have that, your blood's boiling, you have that anger, you know you have that feeling because you experience it. Or you've experienced it as someone else giving it to you. And you're sure it's there. Would you agree? Just like you can't go and measure it, but you know it's there. That's how a Gurmukh who is a Gursikh who is tuned to Guruji's Naam, they know how Vaheguru is there. You can't go and find out a test and nothing will show you, is Krodh a liquid thing? Is it a gas? Is it an enzyme? Is it a hormone? No, you can't find out like that. But it's in you though. The same way you can't do a test for Vaheguru, but Vaheguru is in you. And a Gurmukh experience is just like we know we've had our battles. Internally, we've all had battles where one of these five have come into us. Or they're into us and they're really challenging us. And you know you're going through it sometimes. You've experienced it the way, that is the same way, even in a heightened way, pardon me. We shouldn't put it in the exact same category, but the Gurmukhs that feel Vaheguru, they're sure it. They're sure Vaheguru is there. So just food for thought in that regard. And Punj Chor, so 5 thieves. Punj Chor. And what does a thief do? It steals. So inane ki karna Satsang ji, they're going to steal your good qualities. They're going to try to steal your kamai. And our job is to earn more Naam Simran Seva Kamai. And their job is to steal it. This is part of Guruji's game. Remember the khed that we talked about yesterday? Guruji ne khed banai hai, game banai hai. This is a challenge. What's a game if there's no challenge in it? So this battle is going on every day inside of us. And the next slide shows what Gurbani says about this. Is dehi andar Punj Chor vas hai, Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankara. So I'm going to say it, repeat after me. Is dehi andar Punj Chor vas hai. Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankara.
Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankara.
See, by repeating it, Satsang Ji, Guru Sahib Ji's Kala Shakti goes to this as well. So that's why we want to do that. So that's very clear. The meanings are very clear. In this body, these five thieves, these five reside inside of us. Hai gaya. In the next pankti, Amrit loot hai, man mukh nahi bujh hai.
Amrit loot hai, man mukh nahi bujh hai.
Koi na suna pukara.
Koi na suna pukara.
So what they do is they want to get your Amrit inside of you. Another thing that is Amrit is Naam. Another thing that is Amrit is Bani. Amrit Naam Nidan hai milpi bhopai. So Naam is Amrit. Amrit Bani har har teri. Sun sun hoya panugat meri. Their job is to go and steal your Amrit. And the Manmukh nahi bujh hai. Manmukh doesn't get it. They don't even understand. They might be getting robbed by these thieves, but they're just sitting back and not even noticing it. Imagine someone comes in your house and steals everything. You just kind of say like, hey, what's up? And they go. That's what's going on to a Manmukh. Manmukh does not realize what's going on. Koi na suna pukara. Nobody in this world, no other being is going to listen to your pukar. What is a pukar? There's a difference between pukar and ardas. Ardas is a humble prayer out of humility, and pukar is a prayer out of pain. Pukar karni. You're feeling pain and you're doing an ardas. You're pleading is a pukar out of pain. So koi na suna pukara. No one will hear our complaints and our concerns. Besides Guru Sahib, obviously. So this is in Bani Kari. There's other many panktiyan, but I'm not going to go into that too much today because we only have an hour. And there's other things to cover. So Satsang Ji, I'll just see off the bat. We're going to talk about the illness, which is these thieves, these Punj Chor. But Guru Maharaj has also given us Dwai as well too. We're going to talk about the Dwai. Because what's the point of talking about the illness only, not talking about the Dwai? So the next slide, it shows these kore. And if you look carefully, these kore, look at their neck. They have, I'm not sure if you can see on the screen clearly there, but they have the senses. Can you see the senses there? Kaiyan de aakhya, kaiyan de nakya, kaiyan de karnya, ek te jeevya, right? The thing is, Satsang Ji, look at that lady. She's trying to control them and she's failing. Because the senses are making that chariot not move in one direction. Do you guys know, look at the horse with the eye on it. What color is the horse? Can you guys, do you see that? Even the world, they associate lust with red. I'm not saying, red is a bad color, check it out. Obviously, Sikhi red is discouraged, right? But my point is that red is always considered a color of lust. So, if you wanna put this to the test, these senses have such an effect on your mind. For example, many of you may have watched a scary movie one day. So I'm gonna give you guys an example. We're sitting on a couch. It's nighttime. It's quiet. You're watching a movie. You're going to get scared. So this screen that you're looking at in front of you is putting this image, and you're listening to it you're watching it with your eyes and listening to it with your ears. So this information is being inputted into your eyes and ears, right? This information that you're seeing in this movie is making your heart race faster. Agreed? It's even making you so scared that while watching the movie, you may look over your shoulder and see someone's there. It's like, oh, even though you don't know what's there, but you want to check. It makes people turn on all the lights in the hallways before they go to the bathroom. It's like 12 baje the ghar vich prakash hoya hunda pura. It's like, what's going on? It makes you use your voice louder. It's like, hello, anyone there? It makes you do it just because you've seen that movie. Your senses have that much of an effect on your mind, and your mind has that much of an effect on your body. Your heart's going do that much faster. This is a test that we've all gone through. So our senses are that sensitive. So which way is the mind going to go? So the mind, Bachara, how is the mind going to convince us to go into to focus on the Atma, the soul, when each of the senses are making you run in different directions? It's just overwhelmed. Very difficult. It's a challenge that we must face throughout our life. So part of these things, Satsangaji, is to get these senses and to control them. Try your best. Ardas karni sangat bajana. Another thing is, use these eyes, darshan karo, sangat de darshan karo, Guru Maharaj de darshan karo, Guru Bani de darshan karo khande naal. And look at Vaiguruji in everyone. Look at Vaiguruji's roop in everyone. Karna de naal. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਇਹ ਸਰਵਣ ਹੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਹੋ ਸੱਚ ਸੁਣਨਾ no ਪਠਾਏ. Sarvano is ears. Oh my ears, you are pathai, you are made, you are created to listen to such. Sach sunane no pathai, sarir lae, suno sat bani. Bani sun vaste tun sarir te laya. So let's do that. Jit suni mantan harya hua. Even jera sort of manya te tanya, your mind and your body, it becomes green, not literally, but green as in flourishing. So there's so much Shakti that Guru Bani gives us, and even your pair, what are you going to do with your pair? Charan Charu Mara Govind. So walk towards the Sangat, walk towards Guru Sahib Ji. Apne haath. Use your hands to do good things. You can use your hands to do a lot of bad things in life. You can use your hands towards good things. So before you do an action, vichar karo. Take a moment, a quick second to just reflect. Okay, is this what I'm going to do? So your senses are very sensitive. Your mind is very sensitive, and it will have a direct relationship to your body. So please, this is vital to controlling the Punj Chor. The next slide, it shows 7 major influences on your mind. Eating. That's true. What you eat, it will have an effect on your mind. How Gurmat vich likhya hai कि मांस खाना ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪਸ਼ੂ ਬਿਰਤੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ. It's hard to do bhakti. It's hard. Clothing. Now, okay, well, first on eating, even eating like too much junk food, too much sugar, it just makes you too energized. It's hard to get it to you have a lot of sugar and then go quietly in Sangat and sit down and keep things hard. You're like looking around, what's going on? You know? It's just too hard. So only sanjam which controls it rakhna. That's why usually Sangat is sada langar hunda hai. There's not like 5-6 different sabjiyan and all this aloo matar, all these kind of different things. Oh, theek hai waise, right? But like not too much complications. So many different types of desserts. It's usually simple hunda langar. It's good to have simple langar. Clothing. So our outer appearance, obviously we're going to dress up and look nice because we want to feel that we're attractive and we want others to look at us. That's the reason why we're doing it. Or you want to be fashionable and want others to say, look, this person looks good. So clothing, Gursikh da baadla pehrawa should be more towards a little bit of a simple side. I'm not saying go like parte kapde, like go to, you know, people the party jean paa lende kehande main bhi gareeb hoya nahi idaਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ ਕਿ that's a very fashion statement. You know the point I'm making. Sadde vastra. That's why bana is really great. So whenever possible, try to wear bana. If you can do one thing, Satsangaji, is whenever you can have darshan of Maharaj in Gurdwara Sahib, go wear bana. And you're not dressing up for Maharaj, you're trying to be as appropriate to Maharaj, and you're wearing very simple, comfortable clothing. And sometimes by wearing bana, your mind will think, am I worthy of this? You may not feel that you're worthy of it, but you may end up doing simran because you're like, maybe I should try to do as much part as I can to become worthy. So you have to think very positively. So simple clothing is encouraged. And we talked about yesterday, this sareer is like It's like a sack of dirt. So let's not decorate it with jewelry and tattoos and these kind of things. This is a rental. So I'm going to go back to Guru Maharaj. He doesn't want to see holes punctured in it. He doesn't want to see all these nishani and graffiti on it. So take care of it. 3, talking. When we do karam, any action we do, they're separated into 3 categories. Man, Bani, Sarir. What that means is the thought, your thinking. That's also a karam. How do you think? What are you thinking about? Are you thinking positively, negatively? What are your thoughts? Second category is Bani, which is language. What are you speaking? Are you speaking negatively? Are you doing negatively? So that's the second category. And the third category is Sarir, which is body. You're carrying out actions. It's weighted heavier. So obviously if somebody thinks about, let's say, robbing a store, it's not as bad as actually going and robbing a store. The punishment is appropriate to the level of karam. But you still want to control all 3. You want to do your best to control how you speak. It's easier to control what you speak and what you do with your body. It's really much harder to speak. It's really much harder to control your mind. But फिर भी कोशिश करनी. So talking, how do you talk? Do you speak sweetly? Do you swear? It's like, you have this dirty panda that you're supposed to go in the kitchen and clean it. You spend a good 5 minutes scrubbing it hard and scraping all the dirt off, whatever you want to call it, and then suddenly you see a pile of mitti and you pick it up and you apply it onto it again. How much sense does that make? Doesn't make any sense. So for our whole life, we're trying to clean our mind by reading Bani, doing something like that, and then after like Nitin, you're going to go and swear and yell at someone. It's like, what's going on? You just scrubbed, now you're just applying mitti again. You're scrubbing and you're applying mitti again. It's a circle, you're wasting your time. So it's really, really easy to stop swearing. I know it's a common thing here. I'm not saying about you guys. It's a common thing in our culture. Really easy to stop swearing. It's one of the easiest things you can do from this camp. Just stop. If you do, stop swearing. Will that word be appropriate to around your parents, around your family, around Guru Sahib? Don't use it. You know what? The only thing it can do is maybe save you a little bit of trouble and give you a little bit of inner strength to control what you say out of your mouth. And वैसे गुरसिक्खां दा बोलना तो पवित्र होना चाहिए. It should be very pure. So company, obviously your sangat, it affects your mind. Jaisi sangat, taisi rangat. Whatever your sangat, your surrounding is going to have an effect on you, on your mind, on your body. You can't control it. It's one of the rules of the world, one of the rules of the game that Guruji's created. You cannot control it. You will not see a druggie hanging out with a bunch of gurmukhs. And you will not see a gurmukh hanging out with a bunch of druggies. It doesn't happen. Your sangat will affect you. You can't control it. You can say, no, my friends they may do other things and, do drugs and drink and smoke, whatever, but I'm going to be strong. I'm not saying your friends are bad people. I'm just saying their actions may not be good if they do that. But if you're saying, I'm going to be strong, apne man te koi vishwas na karo. Why do we do ardas every day, Guru Maharaj ji? Sikhi sanu baksho, Sikhano Sikhi da, case da. Why do we say all these things again? Because you never know about the mind. The mind can waver any day. Mind is chanchal. It's always wavering. Just like we're sitting here today, some of us might be listening to this, some of us might be thinking about what I'm going to do after this, some of you may be thinking about the snowman you guys made outside, some of you may be thinking about what's for lunch. You never know. Your mind is running around. Chanchalaya. So your company is affecting your mind, which affects your body. Hearing, we talked about that earlier. Your Karna Guru Sahib has given you to listen to such. Katha Kirtan, Gurbani, Sikhi is obviously your purpose, so try to devote your hearing towards that. And also not just that, je koi nindya karta hai, chugli karta hai. Nindya is speaking negatively about others, making up false accusations and speaking about them. Chugli is simply criticizing others. Suno na. Just be like, I don't want to talk about this. Or if you feel uncomfortable telling a person straight out, usually you can change the subject, or your body language can express that you're not comfortable in that environment. Change it. You might be doing that person a favor because you're going to prevent them from doing more than their activity. So do try. Seeing, we talked about that. What goes in your eyes, Maharaj Kirpa Karna, we all get this thought that we can control our eyes. But whatever you see, it's going to affect our mind. It's going to affect our body. And also sleeping. getting obviously enough rest for this body is a requirement, but ਕਈ ਸੰਗ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੀਂਦ ਦੀ ਭੁੱਖ ਆ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਵਧਾ ਲਓ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਘਟਾ ਲਓ you can control it over time. You can sleep 12 hours a day for the rest of your life and you only live half your life. 12 hours a day is half of 24, right? So like a person, if they reach 80 years old, they're only actually 40 years old. So how much we sleep, let's try to control it. And usually it helps if you don't want to wake up early in the morning, maybe a nap later on during the day or something might be helpful if you're off on that day, but try to control it. The next slide. Just quickly want to tell you a small Sakhi from Guru Har Gobind Sahib's time. It'll illustrate something and a few points, and hopefully you can try to figure out what the lesson is throughout the Sakhi. So Satsang ji, one day Guru Har Gobind Sahib Maharaj, Meri Piri Maharaj, the 6th Guru, is walking through the jungle with the Guru Sikhs, and they hear a noise, they hear a cry. It's a little baby. The Sangat approaches it and they find a little baby boy, just a few days old, but the baby's librea in mitti, covered in dirt. And as the Guru Maharaj asked the Guru Sikh to pick up the child with the baby, they picked up the child and they noticed this baby only a few days old, but it has teeth. It already has teeth. So someone thought maybe there's something wrong with this child. So the parents left this child in the jungle. We can't raise this child, maybe something's wrong with it or something. So Guru Maharaj ji ne kiya, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Maharaj ne bacha mere ko lage aao. Because the bacha was all covered in mitti, it's kind of dirty. One of the Sangat members, they said, Guru Maharaj ji, bacha na chakyo, ye bacha kothara aaya. Kothara means impure or dirty. Maharaj kende no, kothara nahi hega, ye suthara aaya, which means pure. This child is pure. So Guru Maharaj ji ne hukum kita that this child will be raised by the Sangat. Sangat balo is bache. And ever since the Sangat started taking over and helping that child, Guru Maharaj ji, Guru Har Gobind Sahib ji had a special kirpa on that child as well too. That child was very dear to them, and that child did those things that made Guru Sahib ji happy. So the child was named Bhai Suthra ji, or some people say Bhai Suthra Shah ji. And that child bahut bakshish hui, ever from a young age. Shorty umar to the child was naam simran which bahut lean se ge, a lot of part, a lot of simran. But as that child got older, Bhai Suthra ji would do a lot of funny things, a lot of incidents would take place. He would do prachar at the same time, but also do something a little sharati and funny. So one time incident happened, Guru Har Gobind Sahib ji Maharaj sitting on the takht. This is Sri Akal Takht Sahib, and the original name of Sri Akal Takht Sahib is Takht Sri Akal Bunga Sahib. The original name. Because all the Panj Takhts, they have the word Takht before the name. So like Takht Sri Harmandir Patna Sahib, Takht Sri Kesakar Sahib and Anandpur Sahib, Takht Sri Damdama Sahib, Takht Sri Hajur Abjad Nagar Sahib Nandir. So Takht Sri Akal Bunga Sahib was the original name. If you look at the Hukamname, that's what it says on it. That's just a tidbit there. So Satsang ji, Guru Maharaj ji is Takht pe Birajman hai, piche Chaur Seva ho rahi hai. Shatra is there too. Chavar Shatra Takht Malak. Have you ever heard that word? Chavar Shatra Takht. Chavar means Chaur, Shatra means Shatra. As you can see, the umbrella that's showing there in front of Guru Sahib ji, and Takht is throne. So Maharaj is sitting there, and Bhai Suthra ji, he's about probably 17, 18, 16 years old, around that age. And he's sitting there, and many people will come have darshan of Satguru ji. One time, an Udasi Mahatma Sadhu came. And a lot of those Udasi sadhus, they never wore any kapde. They just used to wear kind of like boxer shorts. That's it. So the rest of the body was bare. So this Mahatma Sadhu, he came, he's wearing nothing but boxer shorts. But also, are you guys listening, paying attention? His body is also covered in swa, which is called ash. Now, a lot of those Mahatmas during that time, what they would do is, you know when a person dies, we cremate their body and there's ashes left over? That means that, you know, the person's ashes remain, there's nothing left of them. So these Mahatmas would get ash from a fire and they would smear it all over their body to show the world that we're dead to you. We're dead to society. We're going to live on our own in the jungles of the mountains or somewhere else. We're dead to society. So he's wearing boxer shorts, nothing else, and his whole body is just full of ash. And he comes to have darshan of Satguru ji. And Satguru ji so much nimrata, they say, "Aao Mahatma ji, aake baitho, aake baitho." And Bhai Suthara ji, he's so excited, he wants to see something too. He's excited to do seva of Satguru ji, and he wants to do something. He has a plan in mind. So he goes behind Satguru ji and he starts doing Jal Seva. Okay? You guys listening? So the Mahatma, he comes up, and what does he do? He sits on the takht with Satguru ji. Instead of sitting on the ground with the Sangat, and Bhai Suthara ji didn't like this. He's like, "What's going on? What's this guy doing? Right? He's not supposed to sit there." Anyways, he's like, "Okay, I shouldn't say anything because I should be respectful." And then Bhai Suthara ji was sitting there doing Jal Seva, and Guru Maharaj ji asked the Mahatma ji, what's your name? He said, "My name is Sital Das Bal Khandi Mahatma. I'm a Shant Swarup. I'm really calm and peaceful. That's my name." And Bhai Suthara ji didn't like it. He's like, "Okay, I don't think so." So what Bhai Suthara ji did, while he's doing Jal Seva, because the Mahatma is sitting right beside Guruji, right? He got his finger and some people say poke, some people say pinched him. And the guy's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" He got mad. No one likes to be poked or pinched out of nowhere, right? So he didn't like it. And then Guru Maharaj said, "See, right? What do you like to do?" And then the Mahatma pulls out flowers. And many people in the Sangat would give flowers to Guru Sahib Ji in the day. Even today, Sangat does it to Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So Bhai Suthara ji thought, "Oh, the Mahatma bought flowers for Guruji." And then Bhai Suthara ji grabs the flowers and puts it at Guruji's charan, at their feet. Because that's what we do, matha to Guruji's feet, right? When you bring your offering to Guruji's feet. And the sadhu, he goes, "No, ਇਹ ਪੈਰਾਂ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਰੱਖਣੇ ਹੈਗੇ, ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਦ ਆ, ਵਿਸ਼ਨੂੰ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਦ ਮੈਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਇਆ, ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਦ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਣ ਆਇਆ." And Bhai Suthara ji is like, "You don't give prasad to Guruji. Guruji gives us prasad. And who are you to say this is Vishnu ji da prasad flowers? Vishnu ji comes every day. Your Vishnu ji comes every day to Matha Tek to Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. You're saying this is Vishnu ji da prasad?" He's like, "No, you're making us upset. You're saying that, right?" And then Guru Maharaj is so much nimrata, right? So much nimrata. And they're like, "Nee ji, then gal na Guru Suthara ji, don't do this." And Suthara ji got mad. He's like, "Who is he to give prasad to the Guru?" So he was Vishnu ji the prasad. And then he pinched him a couple times. And the guy's like really uncomfortable now. He's like, "Okay, what do I do here?" Right? And then what happened is, then the Mahatma got a little like weirded out. He's like, "Vishnu ji comes here to Matha Tek every day?" He's like, I believe in Vishnu ji. Vishnu ji is a so-called god, one of the gods and goddesses of the Hindu. I'm not going to disrespect them, but one of the so-called gods and goddesses. We don't believe in gods and goddesses, right? But of the Hindu religion, and the Hindus who puja to them, right? So Guru Maharaj ji was so humble, and then the Mahatma goes, "Guruji, can you tell me a little bit? Does this Vishnu ji come to you do your Matha Tek every day?" And Guruji is so humble. They said, "Dekho ji Mahatma ji, Vaheguru ji has come to this world of Kaljug as form of Guru Nanak. Vaheguru ne Guru Nanak the roop vich avatar dhariya. And the world, many spiritual beings, many people in this world, many different beings want to do respect and Matha Tek to the great Guru Nanak. So they come to Guru Nanak's darbar to show respect and Matha Tek." See, he didn't say they come to me, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji said. He said they come to the house of Guru Nanak. Because the Jyot of Guru Nanak is in Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. So that made the Sital, Shant, Balakhandi Mahatma upset. And he was like kind of like showing his anger and clenching his teeth or something, like he was really angry. And then Suthara ji, he grabbed his whole hand and he just kind of squeezed him and he like really pinched him. And that set him off. That set off the sadhu. And he got really mad and swore at Bhai Suthara ji. And he swore at him and Maharaj was like, "Ki ho gaya tusi kyun kar rahe?" He said, "Inne mainu tang kita." Because Bhai Suthara ji is doing Jal Seva and he's poking and pinching all along, right? He said, "Inne mainu tang kita." And Maharaj was like, "Bhai Suthara ji, tusi inna nu ki kita?" He said, "Maharaj, main na Jal Seva kar rahi hai na." Right? And they're like, "Okay." And then, so what happened is, he said, Mahatma ji, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਨਾਮ Sita last, keep all calm and peaceful. But Bhai Sutaji was saying that, he was your not like that. And then Maharaj ji, Bhai Sutaji question hoya daso ki hoya. This is what he said. Great suna. He said, Maharaj ji, मैं सुनिया हैगा आ, जिथे स्वाह हुंदी आ, ash हुंदी, ashes, ते उत्थे अग भी हुंदी आ. So what I did was, I've heard that wherever there's ashes, there's fire. So I saw this swa sitting here, so I disturbed it a few times and I saw the yak. Right? So this Pakhandi Sadhu Mahatma is trying to show that Mata ji, Sita Allah, Sadhu Aji, Mahatma ji, Kachi Pali, all this kind of stuff, right? And look, he hasn't even conquered Krodh. He hasn't conquered Krodh. The Punj Chor are in him too. He says, "Main duniya to khatam hai ji. I'm dead to the world." He hasn't even conquered it. So Satsanga ji, the point here is, we can't denounce the world and leave our society, leave our family and say, I'm done, I'm going to be shant. I'm not saying those people can never find peace. Obviously, if they follow Gurmat, they can. But Satsanga ji, in your day-to-day life, you have to battle these Punj Chor. And then Maharaj ji failed. He was just so mad and he just took off. Anyway, that's a Sakhi of Bhai Sutra ji. There's so many Sakhis, even more Sakhi of Bhai Sutra ji. They're really funny. But I'll tell you some other day. But this one, it would fit with today's topic. Okay, now we're going to go to solutions. You can go to the next slide. But don't go forward from here. So Satsanga ji, the illness, the problems is the Punj Chor are looting us. Punj Chor, sada amrit, sadi naam kamai nu paina chaਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ. They're taking our good qualities. Kaam karo lo moh hankar. Satsanga ji, there's a battle inside of us, and Team Maya has these 5 players. This is true. This is not a game. I'm not giving you just an example. Maya has a team, and these 5 Panje Bade Mahabali. Panj bahut. Panj Bukhadi ek gariba rakho rakhnhar. They're big warriors in this battle inside of us. These warriors are really big. So Team Maya has Kaam Ko Do Mohankar, 5 big players and warriors on its side. But Satsanga ji, sometimes we forget this jung that's inside of us. Remember we said Khalsa Soy Jo Kare in the jung? If there's another side that's having a jung against us, we have to have help on our side too. Would you guys agree? Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj has given us 5 huge players, but we don't even know them. That's the problem. We look at the problem and we look at the enemy in Punj Chor here. We look at the illness and we stop there. We forget the solution. We forget the Shakti, the weapons that Guru Gobind Singh Ji has given us. We're going to talk about those today. I'm sorry I chose a bad color, I shouldn't say bad color, a dark color for the font or the background that you can't see Guru. Can you see Guru up there? Yes. It's in blue because Guru Sahib's color is blue, right? Primary color is blue. I should have picked a lighter background, I'm off guard there. But Guru Sahib's team is blue. We're going to show you Guru Sahib's players. Okay? But the thing about Guru Sahib's players, they're not just things. You have to bring them into your life. They're not just words. You have to bring this and apply it into your life, okay? So when I say the first one, you're going to have to try to remember, what can I do to bring this in my life? If you want that player to battle this jung inside of you, okay? So this is the solution, guys. I'm going to wait till they put that down because we're on concentration here. Sorry. Is it too bright? This screen? Guys, I need your attention. Please don't talk. Bahut karta Maharaj ne bakshiya. Tabli rakho on, please. Guys, please. Hey, at least speaking rather than talking, so it's okay. No, little kids. Okay. So, once again, recap. These 5 illnesses are inside of us. You can say they're looting us. And Maharaj Gaya Khasa Soy Jo Kare in the jung. This jung is going on. There are 5 warriors are attacking us. But what Shakti and what weapons, what warriors do we have on our side? Guru Gobind Singh Ji has given us 5 as well too. But the issue is you can't, Maharaj just doesn't give them to you. They give them to you, you have to apply them to get the power. Okay? So pay attention now and bring this to your mind. Focus this on your mind and see, do I have this? And if I don't, how can I do it? Really pay attention to this. This is really important. First, Shakti, the warrior that Guru Sahib has given us, is Daya, compassion and mercy. First one. If you want to get any Shakti, any power to combat these, you must have compassion inside your heart. If someone has hurt your feelings or someone did something wrong to you, and later on they realize and they come back to you and say, I'm sorry, have mercy and forgive them. Be kind. Don't be arrogant and have hankar and growth and anger and say, no, I don't care, don't talk to me. Don't say that. That's not Khushi of Guru Maharaj. Have gribi, have nimrata, have daya, compassion. Also, part of daya is empathy. Look at others that are feeling pain and feel that pain. Kisi de dukh vich dukh mahsoos karna. And somebody else's pain, feel pain for them too. Someone has khushi, feel happy for them. If someone is, let's say another family, they have a baby or something, or they buy a new house, a new car, feel happy for them. Don't be like, don't feel like that. And if somebody else has a problem, don't be like, don't feel like that. Sometimes some people, what they do is they might be in Sikhi, and let's say they've kept their hair for a long time, and then they have a struggle, and let's say they cut their hair. Feel the pain, and maybe go to the Sangat and do ardas for that person in the Sangat. Instead of some people run to their mom or dad, or run to their friends, they're like, look, that guy cut his hair. They're laughing. They're laughing in that person's dukh dikadi. That's not daya. You must have daya. Second Shakti, warrior that Guru Sahib has given us, is Dharam. Follow this Dharam, these guidelines that Guru Sahib has given you to your fullest. How do you do it? Get knowledge. Vidya paro. Know what Sikhi is. Live it. Understand it. Come to camps like this. Do vichar with Gursikhs, but also do vichar with your mind. Am I doing this? Do I have these qualities? The Sangat, all the Bani you read, compare that to measure it to your mind, measure it to your life. Bring Dharam into your life. Dharam is also another arth of Dharam is Sach. Live truthfully. Jhoot na bolo, Sach bolo, and stand up to truth. Doesn't matter what pressures you may face, stand up to truth. You go to the grocery store and you're supposed to get back $20 in change, but they give you a 50 instead. That's not your money. Excuse me, you give me a bit too much here, this is yours. They're going to be like, what? Why are you giving me money back? It's their error. But a good Sikh stands with Sach all the time. Sach bolana. Dharam is pakka. Guru Sahib is watching us. Small examples. Now, once you have daya, compassion, empathy, you have Dharam, you know the Guru Sahib Sikhya, you're learning about it, you're following it to your best, you have to do the third thing. The third quality is himmat, which means effort. Himmat is a Hindi word which means effort. You get those guidelines and you apply them and work on it. Work on it to the best of your ability. मेहनत करनी बहुत जरूरी है, उद्यम करना बहुत जरूरी है. Obviously, Maharaj की कृपा भी होनी है, but you have to try to attain that kirpa, be worthy of that kirpa by doing mehnat. Just like that teacher in class, they really appreciate when those kids do their homework and they really make a lot of effort. Sometimes those kids get a benefit of the doubt too. The fourth guna, Shakti that Guru Sahib is giving us is Mohkam. I want to pause right here for a second. What do you see here out of these four names so far? What's ringing a bell? Punj Chor. These Punj Chor names, guess what? They're not just qualities, they're actually in order. These qualities that Guru Sahib wants to give you, they're actually in order. By Daya Singh ji, by Dharam Singh ji, by Him Singh ji, by Mohkam Singh ji. Mohkam de kiyas kite jande hai, but the arth that I will talk about right now, in this ladi, in this theme, is Mohkam is to have, one arth that Mahaprabhu Khan kite hai, is when you have this When you have daya, you have taram, you have compassion, you have mercy, you have empathy, you have the taram, you have the sach, you're following it, you're making effort in it, himmat in it, you get control of this mind. Man shant ho jata hai, and you're running the show and your mind is not running the show. You know your mind travels and you think you're just wandering? No, it'll be opposite. You will tell the mind what to do. So what happened is, there was, out of the Punj Chor, by Mohkam Singh Ji, he had that state of mind. He had that avastha where his mind was underneath him. So one example I'm going to give you about by Mohkam Singh Ji, to show you what the shakti of these warriors, okay, of these shastras that Guru Sahib have given us for this jang. You guys heard of the Battle of Punj Chor? 1 million Mughal forces against 40 Gursikhs. 40 against 1 million. Guru Gobind Singh has written this in Jafarnama. You don't doubt, this is not an exaggeration. So a lot of those things knew that they were going to become shaheed. 40 against 1 million. A Gursikh never turns their back on the battlefield. That's why Gursikhs, you're not going to see a lot of their wounds are on their chest and not on their back. The only time a battle wound is on their back is if someone attacks the Gursikh from behind. So what happened is, Guru Gobind Singh is in the fort of Punj Chor. I'm not going to tell the Saki too long. Don't talk about Bhai Mohkam Singh Ji. Something special happened. And Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj is making jathi of 5. They get 5 Singhs, make a group. Another 5 Singhs, make a group. Another 5 Singhs, make another group. And they say, Singho, asi Punjab Punjab bahar jana. We're going to go outside to this jung against 1 million of Mughals in groups of 5. And Bhai Mohkam Singh Ji wanted to be put in a group of 5 as well too, so he can go out and fight. And Maharaji wasn't selecting Bhai Mohkam Singh Ji. And Bhai Mohkam Singh Ji waited for a while. He's like, Maharaji, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Maharaj, मैं भी जंग में लड़ना है, मैं भी Maharaji सेवा करनी चाहिए, दीपावली है, how come you're not putting me in a group? Maharaj कहते, Bhai Mohkam Singh Ji, we have a special seva for you. I have not forgotten about you. Something will happen. Just wait. So Bhai Mohkam Singh Ji, after all the jathe were made of 5, Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj approached Bhai Mohkam Singh Ji. They said, Bhai Mohkam Singh Ji, you have the daat, you have the blessing of Mohkam. Your mind, you have full control of your mind. Your mind does not control you. Today, you will go in this jung alone. And when you have control over your mind, you are no longer one person. You are how many? Somebody tell me. Sava lakh se ek ladaun, tabay Gobind Singh naam kahaun. We will show the world what Sava lakh is. And Mahakavi Bhai Santokh Singh Ji in Surya Prakash Granth writes that when Bhai Mohkam Singh Ji went out, people thought he was 1, but he was actually 125,000. When he went there, they said that when he would strike his kirpan, waves and layers of bodies would fly away. And there's the example given is when an alligator jumps into a pond, the water splashes everywhere. This is bodies were splashing everywhere of those million when Bhai Mohkam Singh Ji went into the jungle. That's how much Shakti he had. Because he had controlled these Punj Chor with those guna. Guna means qualities. You have to bring those qualities. But you only get those seeds to those qualities if you take Amrit. So that's tomorrow. Guruji gives you the seed to that quality. You have to develop it. And then what happens, Satsang, when you have that, you have compassion, you have mercy, you have empathy, you have love, you have dharam, you have truth, you have sach, you follow it, you do effort of it, you do himmat of it, mint of it, you get the Mohkam avastha. Your mind is now not controlling you. You have control of your mind. You attain what? Sahib Vaheguru. You attain Vaheguru. You control the Punj Chor. You will get this. You will get this daat. But you have to water those seeds throughout your life. And this jung, Khalsa Soy, jo kare net jung, you will become Fateh. You will become victorious. But it's very sad because this vidya, this education is not being taught properly. We only talk about the team Maya, we forget to talk about the team Guru. So make your decision, Satsanga Ji, whose team you want to be on, who do you want to make your leader, and they will give you those Shaktiyan accordingly. And Satsanga Ji, the next, actually don't go to the next slide yet, sorry. You can show the next, you can show slide. Yeah. Don't go to the next slide yet. Kei Gurmukha ne Das nu dasya, they told me that Guru Sahib Ji has given a Shabad as well too. Obviously all of Gurbani is Shakti. But there's one particular Shabad that Guru Sahib has given that we should do abhyas of to really combat these Punj Chor. Next slide shows it. Anji. So repeat after me. Sorat Mahalla Panjwa Kaam Krodh Lobh Jhoot Ninda Inte aap chadav ho Eh Pitar te inko dar ho Aapan nikt bulav ho Apni bid aap janav ho Har jan mangal gav ho rahao Bisr nahi kabhu hiye te Eh bid man meh pav ho Gur pura petyo vad bhagi Jan nanak kat hai na tav ho. This Shabad, you all have your phones, you can pull it out. And ida bhi abhyas karna chahiye. Guru Mukh Sahib said that Maharaj ne throughout history have given the Shabad also to help combat those. But the main focus earlier, if we go back one slide please, is this. The main focus is this. Bring those guns into your life. Now, we're going to finish off with one Sakhi, then we'll wrap it up. Shoti Sakhi. Satsang ji, these, whichever side you choose, Maya or Guru, they will color you. They will color your life. They will color your life and they will give you a certain vision. This world it is what it is. And some people feel this world is like a hell on its own, whereas others feel like this world can be like Sachkhand, because when they're in the Guru Sangha. But the world is the same world, but it depends on your perception. So whichever team you choose will change your perception, will change your mentality, will change your drishti, your vision, your outlook, and your feelings, and your fulfillment and your satisfaction in life. One Shoti Sakhi, then we'll Samapti. So I don't know the name of these two Gursikhs, but Sakhis about two Gursikhs. They used to do Seva and Langar in the Pradhan times. So what they did is, the evening Diwan had finished, the Sangat was all going home, it was around late at night, and these Gursikhs realized they needed to go and bring food for the morning Langar. They needed to bring probably lakra and wood, and they needed to bring probably the vegetables and crops for the morning langar. They were out at the Gurdwara kitchen. So they decided that they're not going to sleep tonight. They're going to actually go out to the field, the farms that they had, or the Gurdwara had, I'm not sure who had it, but the farm that they were supposed to go to, and get the food, the vegetables and lakra. So they made that decision. The two Gursikh Sevadars are not going to sleep. So they went out to the farm and they started, getting the vegetables from the trees and from the fruit from the trees and the vegetables from the ground, and they started washing it and preparing it and then chopping them down. It started to take a bunch of hours, and it took a long time to walk to the fields and back too. So that entire night they were going to focus on that. Meanwhile, same time, there was a Chor, a robber, and he thought tonight's a good night to rob, to go and steal from someone. So he noticed there's this big house in the bend and he had his eye on it. And he was So when night fell, and usually when families go to sleep, he went around that time and he stood outside the house's gate. He usually waits a little bit of time until the family's in deep sleep, then he goes inside the house. So during midnight, he went to go through the gate and there was a dog there, a big dog. And he barked at him and it startled him. He said, Chalo, this dog's gonna sleep too eventually, so might as well wait. So he waited. A Because thieves, they have a lot of patience too. They're really sneaky too. Anyways, he would wait and this dog would get tired and it'll bark and bark and bark and whatever, it'll eventually stop and get tired. But this particular dog didn't get tired. It barked throughout the entire night. And that robber was so anxious to go into the house because he had his eyes on a lot of items. He waited there. And meanwhile, the Gursikhs are in the crops, in the fields, and they're getting all the sabji and the lakna tayar and the wood, everything good to go, and washing everything. They're packing it up and they're going to carry it back to the Gurdwara Sahib. So, Amrit Vela happens, and the Gursikhs do Ishnan, and they've done their Nityanem while they're working, and the sun is about to rise. And that robber is still standing by that gate. He's exhausted, his eyes are red. He's so tired. You know, you get bloodshot eyes. And the Gursikhs, because they have not rested, their eyes are also red. They're tired. They've been working labor work all night. But they still manage to do their Ishnan and their Nityanem. So the Gursikhs head out from the farm and they're going towards the Gurdwara with all the sabji and the fruit and the wood. They're carrying it and they're walking towards the Gurdwara. And that thief eventually gives up and says, I'm not going to rob this. It's obviously daylight now, there's no point. So he starts walking home. So the thief is walking home, the Gursikhs are walking towards the Gurdwara, and their paths cross. And the Gursikhs, they see this person, his eyes are red, he's tired, exhausted. And they say, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. They just walked by, that's it, they said Fateh and walked by. And then the two Gursikhs talk amongst themselves and they say, Dekho sari raat ne vyas kita. Thak gaya te sari raat sutta nahi vyas jadya raha hai. Akkhan la liya. And the robber, he goes, those guys are tired. They must have been robbing all night long. Look how much stuff they got. He goes, damn man, I wish I had that. And he walked home. He walked home empty-handed. So based on your team, your drishti, your fulfillment in life is based on that. Sukhiye ko pe kha sab sukhiya, rogi kya paana sab rogi. The Sukhi people feel like everyone's Sukhi. And the rogi is a disease, they feel like everyone's disease. They're all dukhi all the time. Just like a Gursikh should, if you see someone else in the distance and they're moving their mouth, you should be like, wow, that person's probably doing Bhai. That person's probably doing Simran. And you know what? That's a reminder to me I should be doing Simran in every breath. Maybe a puppy, if a puppy person, a person who's maybe making a lot of mistakes and struggles, not that they're bad, but let's say a person who's on Team Maya and they really haven't realized the truth yet. If they see someone who's talking in the distance, they'll be like, I'm bagi janda, I'm boli janda, I'm gadi janda, kalla boli janda, ji kalla, kalla muh nahi janda. They're gonna joke about the guy. So Sasangaji, take this tool with you. This is not mine. Sahib Sri Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj gave this tool. This technology is available to you. Go get it. Get the seeds from Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj. And then water them throughout your life and bring those qualities into you and watch the Shakti grow. You're going to win the jung. You're going to be with Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj forever. And your life will be truly happy. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.